All right, we're gonna let everybody jump on here. All right, so we are live. And hello out there in YouTube land. Happy Sunday. Hey y'all. So, first of all, let me give you a little disclaimer. I'm getting over being sick. So, excuse me a little bit. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back. I am here today, Charisma Cares Travels, with Miss Diamond Crystal. She is going to be joining us in just a second. She is the Gallivanting Grandma, and she is going to tell us all about house sitting, entrepreneurship, all of that, all of that. So, before we get started, I want to go ahead and give you a quick introduction. Welcome back to Charisma Cares Travels. On here, I teach you how to travel the world full time. With or without kids. I teach you how to do it through real estate investing. And I am so happy because today Diamond is going to teach us not only the part I teach you how to travel and invest money and use that, but now Diamond is teaching us how to do some of this for free. So, welcome, Miss Diamond.
Hey, happy Sunday. Thank you for having me, Charisma.
You are so welcome. So, we're going to let some viewers jump on. Hey, Damaris. Hey, Shauna. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, okay, Diamond, we are going to jump in. And what I want you to do is just kind of give us a quick synopsis of who you are, Miss Gallivanting Grandma.
Yes, that is me. Happy Sunday again, everyone. I am Diamond Crystal, the Gallivanting Grandma, and I am a self-proclaimed travel ambassador for Black women over 55 who are looking to embrace a new part of their life journey with ease and grace.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
All righty. So y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I met Diamond. I don't know if it was through the Exodus Summit, but we've been Facebook friends for a minute now. And when we started as Facebook friends, Diamond had I think you had just really started house sitting. And now Diamond not only has a house sitter, she has a Facebook group. What's the name? Tell us the name of your Facebook group.
It is the brand new Gallivanting Grandma.
Okay. Tell me about your group though, the Solo Sisters.
Okay, sisters who sit.
Sisters
Sisters who sit. Yes.
Yes. So she has her Facebook group for women that that want to house sit or are house sitters. You also provide services to help women get their first house sit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once they sign up, then we start the conversation so that they can be on their way to being a 5-star house sitter.
So, how long have you been doing house sitting? And for people that don't know, what is house sitting?
Okay, well, that's a really good question. House sitting generally includes the care of a pet. I just want to start by saying that. So it's house sitting / pet sitting. And what you are doing is you are staying in a host's home, caring for the home and the pet while they are on vacation. It's as simple as that. It is an exchange of services for accommodations.
Okay. So, you're staying in their house for free
Mm-hmm.
anywhere in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to watch their pet typically.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. There generally are not any house sitting type of responsibilities other than making sure that the care of the house is in order. So you don't have to mow the grass or anything like that unless they say it in the sick, because sometimes they do. But those are not the kinds I take.
okay. All right. So, what are the kinds you take?
Oh, girl, first of all,
And where are they?
let me just say that I started out very locally, which is what I suggest for anyone who's starting out with house sitting. Start in your backyard, right? Because you want to get your toe wet and see whether or not this is a lifestyle that you can embrace. So I started with, my goal was just a tank of gas there and back. If it took more than a tank of gas, I was not accepting it, right? Um, and now that has grown into me only accepting sits of 30 days or better, because I'm the Gallivanting Grandma and I don't like to keep on packing and unpacking all over the world. So 30 days or better for me.
Okay. So where's your backyard? Where was your backyard?
My backyard was Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. So you started your first sit in Charleston, and how did you go about finding that first one?
Well, I am an affiliate with Trusted House Sitters, is the service that I use almost exclusively. I've had great success with them. So I found my first sit. It was in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It was someplace that I wanted to go. I needed a kind of Zen atmosphere. So I drove myself there for a tank of gas. There and back, took care of a cat for 2 weeks, and I said, "Oh yeah, I could do this. I could do this," and that jump started it all.
Wow. Okay. And Trusted House Sitter is a pretty popular platform. I know a lot of you probably know Stephanie Perry as well. So Diamond, Stephanie Perry is a ambassador with Trusted House Sitters, and so is Diamond. She is an ambassador. So her website is listed with all of her information, and then there's also some links listed as well. But Diamond actually takes you one step further, because I know I signed up for House Sitter last year. I have yet to do a house sit, Diamond.
Oh my goodness, girl, what you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
I think it's been a year at this
Hmm.
point. So I probably need to figure out how to get a house sit. And I'm not gonna lie, I really haven't applied.
Hmm.
And I applied for one, but I was like, oh, I don't want to do the whole week. I just don't want to do a couple of days.
Right, right,
I'm a little nervous. So how do you get over that? Because I'm like, I'm in other people's house. I'm taking care of their pets. I need a house that's really clean. I can't.
right.
I
Ooh,
can't
that's
do a
important.
dirty house.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I can't. I just can't do it.
I understand. And that's the trepidation that most people have when they start, right? Because of all those things. But I say, kind of flip it a little bit and look at it as if, when you're looking through the sits, whether or not this is a sit that, if it were an Airbnb, would you put a deposit down on it? Would you pay to stay in the place that you're thinking about house sitting? If the answer to that is yes, because you take the same chances with an Airbnb, right? You're not really sure whether or not it's as clean as you would like it to be, or whatever the case may be, whatever your initial issues are. So that's why I tell people to start. If you were going to pay for it, would you?
Okay.
Take that as step number one. And then step number two, what are the responsibilities with the pet? If there is a pet, because there are house sits that don't have pets involved. They are few and far between.
Yes. Yes.
Those are the nuggets, man. I'm telling you, if you find one of those, you better get on it because they're golden.
Okay. And so the other thing that I found when I'm looking through the house sit is I want to do stuff. Like I don't want to be there with that dog all day.
I know
Like
that's right.
I'm not trying to, and I'm a nurse by trade. That's my initial profession. I don't even know if I can give a dog a shot. Like, do they just stay still? Am I gonna have to hold him down? Like, I gotta walk him 3 times? I don't walk myself 3 times a day.
I heard
So
that.
these are things that start to worry me. I need a lazy pet.
That's funny. That's funny. And I say the same thing. So you need a cat, girl. I tell everybody, if you want to get started with house sitting, get a cat. And of course, you can use your filters when you're in Trusted House Sitter on the site or even on the mobile app. Use your filters as your friend. So if you only want to do, I'm gonna go back to your previous statement. You said you didn't want to do a whole week. Well, filter in a weekend, a long weekend, and get your feet wet. Filter in that you only want to take care of a cat. Filter in that, look and see whether or not the dog has a backyard. So when you don't feel like walking, let the dog out and clean up after the dog, right? And then you don't want to be stuck in the house. I had a 5-month house sit last year in Jalisco, Mexico, and it was with a cat. So that allowed me to get out and see so much of the country. It was the first time that I was really outside of the tourist area. Sitting for a cat will allow you the flexibility that you need, particularly if you're to a location that you want to scout out for possible retirement. You want to do all the tourist stuff. Get a cat.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Christina said the same thing. That's what's stopping me from house sitting. What if I have stuff to do? And
Right.
she actually just set up she is setting up her profile this week. So
Okay.
talk
Well,
to Christina.
congratulations. Welcome to the wonderful world of house sitting, Christina.
So what would you tell Christina to do? She's just setting up this profile. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, my profile been up there and I don't have no house sit. So what does Christina need to do that I did not do?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say Christina need to book a 20-minute consultation with me so I can help her get a bomb profile up there, right? One that is going to pull people in, one that is transparent as you're comfortable with being. But that's the kind of thing that I do with our consultations. For 20 minutes, we sit down and we go through your profile. Entry by entry, and make sure that it is one that's going to stand out and represent you best.
And do I have that link? Is that your website?
Yes, you can find it on my website, and it's my Calendly link.
Okay. I'll look back and see if I have that link and
Okay.
I'll post it here. If it is not here, I'll make sure it's in the description so you can book that consultation with her.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the main things that you got to get the house sit.
Right.
I have also, and if y'all have questions in there, go ahead and throw them into the chat. Christina says she's been following Stephanie and all the others for weeks, and now I'm ready. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Stephanie is out here doing it. She has house sitter school. Diamond, she's doing the one-on-ones. So she'll do that consultation with you. And I think a lot of us started by seeing Stephanie do it. Is that how you started as well, Diamond?
Absolutely. Let me just shout out the GOAT. She is the GOAT. I'm telling you, I was not on Facebook until I found Stephanie Perry on YouTube. And she was talking about her Facebook group. And that's what made me join Facebook, to be very honest with you, because I was like, I got to know what this woman is really talking about. And let's just pause for a second and just make the statement of how important representation is. Right. Because had I not seen Stephanie, who was a woman who looked like me, doing something that I thought only other folk did, and only young people did, like you 18, just graduated from high school, not sure if you want to go to college, so you backpacking or you staying up, going all around the world, right?
Yes.
I thought that was something that young other people did, but representation showed up in the form of Stephanie Perry. So she's the GOAT in a whole lot of different ways.
Amen.
Yeah.
Same here. Like during COVID, I turned, I ain't had nothing to do. And I was like, I gotta get up out of here. I'm so tired of being here. Honey, if y'all don't get me out of these four walls, I was about to burst.
Exactly.
And, Stephanie Perry, and she said, Black woman, you don't have to stay here. You can leave. And I said, wait, I thought I was the only one around here saying I wanted to get the hell up out of America. And she told me, we all trying to get out. And she just gave us it's that mustard seed. She gave us a little bit of faith that we needed to say we could step out. And now you're doing house sitters. I'm doing real estate courses and YouTube, all these different things. So I do have to say, she is the GOAT for so many things. And I'm so glad, like Tien said, representation is absolutely imperative. So we have choices. We have Black women around here doing all kinds of things, teaching you to travel, teaching you to work remotely, work on your own terms, live a free life. Invest. I mean, we are doing you know what, I'm saying, all of y'all, we are doing
Hey,
amazing
kudos,
things around here.
kudos. That's
And
it.
think about where you were 5 years ago.
Not even. How about two? You know, I
That part.
mean, COVID changed a lot of people's minds about what work and life balance should look like. Because prior to COVID, if you were in a corporate setting for the most part and you asked to work remotely, 85% of the time the answer was we don't support that, right? It doesn't work with our business model. But when it had worked with the business model, then more of us said, hey, wait a minute. Y'all been, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid too long. I can be working
Mhm.
remote, moving around, doing what I want to do, going where I want to go, and doing it within, my own work-life balance,
Yeah, the way that I want to do it, the way that I see my
That's right.
journey. You
Yep.
know, everybody is not going to be able to just quit the job.
Mm-mm.
Everybody is not going to be able to retire. However, what we can do is create a a life that we want to live.
Yeah.
We can create it anywhere. It don't have to be in America. It could be
No.
anywhere. It could be on a beach. It could be on a snow-capped mountain.
I vote for the beach, girl. I vote for the beach. And
Girl,
let
me
me
too.
tell you something. I mean, it's so funny because prior to listening to Stephanie, sabbatical was a word that I only associated with educators. Like teachers and professors used to take sabbaticals, right? So that they could continue their learning and come back with more. When she started saying taking a sabbatical, I was like, what the world? And then I embraced it. So, it's changing, it's shifting the paradigm.
Yeah.
And once you
So
do that, you can't undo it.
I don't know. I think I saw sabbatical as like something for clergy. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that, I had to think about it, and I think that's what I thought was. I saw it. Like clergy, they take a sabbatical. The monks do a sabbatical.
Right.
Like
Right.
I never even thought about the fact that I, a single mom that works, could actually do a sabbatical. I
Mm-hmm.
always had these dreams that I wanted. I wanted to, be the real estate investor. I wanted to travel the world, but there were things I was doing. But first of all, I had to do it in the dark
Uh-huh.
because nobody was cheering me on like that,
How about
you
that?
know.
Yes.
So I had to make steps in the dark, and I was making steps by myself. So when I was making these steps, I was in a room of people that never really looked like me,
Mm-hmm.
even if they were, they didn't look like me. And most of them in the real estate world, there's nobody that's even, most of them are men. So
Yes.
let's just start there. Just something as simple as gender.
Mm-hmm.
And, now we're going in a step forward where we're like, no, like mine and Manna said, everybody deserves a sabbatical. You
Hello.
weren't, you weren't put here to work forever.
No, no. And I mean, so you work until you're 65 and the life expectancy is 79. So do the math. That's all I get. I
Yep.
mean, before I started working, I was a child. So when do you actually get to enjoy this life that has been gifted to you? When do you get to open the present?
And I tell people my background is geriatric nurse practitioner, and it is my patients that made me say I need to travel and I need to live.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I was a nurse, I was a hospice nurse, I was a geriatric NP, and I remember they would say, I know many of them. They would ask me how old I was because first they said I was too young,
Yeah, yeah.
and they would tell me, do it now,
Yep.
travel now. So many people said I waited until we were waiting until retirement. My husband had a heart attack. I broke my hip. My children, I got to now take care of my grandchildren.
Yep.
It was, we saved all this money and we plan to do it. And even though we're in fair health isn't the best health, right?
Right.
To be traveling and gallivanting the world. So we can go, but we can't go but so far, and we can't do but so many things. So you want to do this while you're in your youth. But whatever age you are, you can still do it. It's still, as long as you're on this world, on this earth, you can still go. And that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not letting anything stop me. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I had a great example with my mother. My mother was my best friend, and she always prioritized travel. Now, when I was a kid, travel meant going from New York to South Carolina to my grandparents' farm every summer, right? From
Right.
Brooklyn, because we weren't going to spend the summers in Brooklyn. We were going to be someplace else. So that's what travel meant to me. But then as my parents, got more resources, then travel extended to, places like Disney that they were able to afford. And then as we started moving out of the house after college, my parents were like, okay, this is my time. So my mom was my example. She was fearless. She was an adventurer. She had gone to London by herself for 2 weeks. She had been to Hawaii. I mean, so these were all aspirational places for me. And I had that perfect example in her. And the last example, right before she got really, really ill, she and my father to Japan for 4 weeks to visit my niece who has lived there for the last decade. And so it was just an encouragement for me. So I saw the value very early in traveling. So when I got the opportunity, I seized it, and I'm not letting it go because, like you said, you're healthy enough to enjoy it. You want to be able to walk. When I go to Portugal next month on my sit, I want to be able to walk those hills
Right.
and
Right.
enjoy everything.
Right. And so lovely Libra, she said same sentiments regarding Stephanie. She said she was having second thoughts about house sitting, but you said you making it fashionable. You are
Oh,
definitely doing that.
thank
April,
you.
yeah, yeah. So you got this house sit coming up,
Yeah.
but let's go back a second.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get here?
Here?
How did you get in this place? What led up to this? Because we all have that backstory. We
Yeah.
got that backstory that led up to I ain't doing this no more.
Well, listen, I'll tell anybody, my blog and my website are a perfect reflection of me. It's transparent. I ain't got nothing to hide because I feel like sisters, we don't talk about the real important things in life often enough. We want to keep it superficial. My business is my business. Listen, I was married for 23 years and my second husband. And when that marriage deteriorated, that was my epiphany. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with my life. I am not going to put my travel dreams on hold, my entrepreneurial dreams, which I've had a few dreams in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I've
right.
been an entrepreneur in some shape, form, or fashion for the majority of my adult life. But now this was all about me. What did I
Mm.
want to do? I needed a brand that reflected where I was and who I was at that moment because I felt like I was brand new. Like my birthday is August 24th,
No,
on my birth certificate, but my real birthday was the date and my divorce was final.
amen. I'm August 29th, but when I found that
Okay.
paperwork on January 2nd, and they said I was the first person in that divorce office for the new year. Yes,
What?
ma'am.
I mean, that's liberation on a whole nother level. But then it's also scary, right? Because my divorce was final at the age of 57. So I didn't anticipate spending my senior years by myself, traveling by myself. So there was that anxiety that was very real. Like, how do I do this as a single person? Now, I didn't set my life up like that. But here I am. I got to deal with the reality. So once I, put that superwoman cape on and decided to take myself to Ecuador for what was supposed to be 2 months, and come on back to work, um, there was no turning back, Charisma. No turning back.
Wait, so you went on a sabbatical,
I did. Yep, I embraced
which
that
turned into
sabbatical.
a lifestyle.
All right. Like I said, I write about it in my blog. But yes, so I lost both my parents within 23 days of one another. So it was very
Mm,
traumatized.
I'm
And
sorry.
by trade, my career was corporate event planner. So, that's the nuts and bolts of making everything happen. I am a recovering type A personality. So, if it's got to be done, I'm the one that's going to do it, and I'll make sure it's done right. It comes in on budget, all of that, so a lot of pressure.
Amen.
So fast forward, I lost my parents, and I'm still trying to hold it together with the bereavement that they've given me, right? My boss, thank God for her. She said to me,
Wait,
she
let's
said,
pause. Did you get 5 days?
girl, I got 2 weeks. I got 2
2 weeks.
weeks.
2 weeks to
2 weeks.
bereave both of your parents.
Correct. 2 weeks for mom, 2 weeks for dad.
Okay, hurry up and get better. All right.
Hurry up and get better. And I figured I can do this because I've always been able to do it. And she said to me, she said, I was missing some balls were dropping. And she said to me, she said, what's going on? My slip was hanging, okay? And nobody was telling me about it except my then boss. And I said to her, I can't do it. I'm trying my hardest. I can't do it. I need a break. So they approved 60 days. I took myself to Ecuador because shoot, man, I couldn't do it in 2 weeks, but I could do it in 2 months, right? That's doable. I'm going to come back better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Day 50, I started having anxiety attacks. Like, I can't do this. I can't go back. We're
Right.
trying to go back into the workplace. Like I said, corporate events. We were going back into live events in convention centers with people. No, I wasn't ready. I wasn't
Right.
ready. So, that was the very first time that I chose me over my resource, which was, the job.
Mm.
I let it
So,
go.
did you do a house sit that first time?
No, I just took
No.
myself on a sabbatical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you surviving?
That's a
Because you
good
just left
question.
your job.
That's a good question.
You said I ain't going back.
No, they said, well, we can't guarantee your job if you don't come back. And I'm like, well, then this is where we part ways. And I'm telling you, the anxiety was high. So my sister girl, Anna, is on this live, and
Okay.
she knows the backstory. She
Okay.
prayed with me because I said, listen, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I found a sit in Chapala, Mexico that was for 5 months
Oh,
with a
for
cat.
free. For
For
free.
free, for
For
free
free. How
accommodations,
much?
free accommodations.
Oh, okay.
So I
All
said,
right
all right,
now.
I can get from Ecuador to Mexico, and in 5 months I can figure it out. Well, I did figure it out, Charisma, and it became my lifestyle at that point. I got that sit, and it was life changing for me.
Wow, for free. I'm
For
still at
free.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still at 5 months for free. Wait a minute, I may be able to get down with a cat for 5 months for
Hey,
free now.
hey, wait a minute. You got to be real selective with your sits too, right? So I'll tell anybody, this was the sit from heaven. It was a cat. It was 5 months, and it came with a car. You
Oh,
couldn't tell me nothing. I was all over Mexico in that little, what I called her hot tamale, because me and Tamale was burning them streets up. You hear me?
well, I remember seeing your Facebook and it would talk about you in Mexico. And I was like, she is up there, she is living it up in this Mexican town.
Yes. I had a
Yeah.
wonderful time. Yes. And met some of the most supportive sisters in this community that I could have ever asked for. And we are still sister friends to this day.
So let me pause and go back because apparently
Mhm.
LaRonda said I missed something. She said you got to tell us about the slip was hanging.
Oh, am I dating myself with that statement?
I never heard
Because
of
y'all,
it.
listen, young people don't even wear slips no more. Y'all know
No,
what a
we
slip is,
don't.
do you?
I took it to mean what you said. So apparently LaRonda said we got to go back and you got to explain this to us.
Okay. So listen, back in the day when I was coming up, when you wore a dress, you had a slip underneath to make sure that, nothing was showing that wasn't supposed to show, right? Very ladylike, very demure. That's how I grew up. Um,
Okay.
so when your slip was hanging, you didn't know it was hanging. So somebody had to tell you. that meant that you weren't on top of your game. That's really what it means, that you weren't on top of your game. And so my slip was hanging in my career. Some
Okay.
balls were dropping, and somebody needed to say, hey, listen, this ain't working out. What you doing? What's going on with you? And I thank God that somebody was there to say, your mental health is not looking the way it has in the past. What's going on with you?
Okay. Thank you for that lesson for today for us millennials that had no idea. Shauna said she knew what it meant. She
Thank you, Shauna.
let's see. LaRonda said they don't know. Teach them. She said we're in the same age range, and she uses that term all the time. I've
Oh my
never heard
goodness.
that term.
Okay, all right. Well,
I
you're gonna learn
literally
today,
took
right?
it to mean that your slip was peeking out. I was like, she still wears slip, but
Well, listen, in all honesty, there's some things that you give up the older that you get, right? It's all about embracing a life of ease and comfort. For my personal comfort, I do not wear slips. Period.
that's like my grandma would be like, you ain't got on no girdle.
Right.
Like, grandma,
Right. No, no, no. I'm
No.
over that. I'm over that.
That is too funny. Oh Lord, mine and Manna said I'm going back to wearing slips.
Oh, no, no, no. You can have them, sis. There ain't gonna be no fighting in the slip department with me, okay? You can have them.
So for us millennials, we just learned what that means.
What that means. Yes. Yeah, your game is slipping.
That is too funny. Okay, so you made it. She said I burned all my slips. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
heard that.
Anna said I certainly know about the slips.
Yes. Hey, Anna.
April said I was still wearing slips on the rare occasion something is in line. My mama didn't raise no hussy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, not the hussy. Yes. I guess I must be a 60-year-old hussy because I ain't wearing them. I just ain't doing it.
Oh Lord, y'all went all the way back.
Oh, they going in.
Yeah, she said we don't wear them, but the term is real.
Okay, now.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So this,
Mm.
so she told you, so she let you know your slip was hanging.
Yeah. Yeah.
You took 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and you turned that into
I turned it
what
into my house sitting lifestyle.
right. Lovely Libra said alignment when the universe delivered you that 5-month house sit.
Hey, praises up.
Right,
Praises up. Absolutely.
right.
Because I needed time to really figure this thing out. How am I going to support myself? This was the first time since I was like, 15, that I was not gainfully employed.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, what happened in those 5 months?
Oh my God, girl. I had time to really sit back with me because it was a lot of firsts. When I took myself to Ecuador, that was really the first time in my adult life that I lived alone. So, the divorce was from my last husband, and I mean last in every sense of the word, the last husband, okay? Um, and I had to figure out, who I was at that point, right? I had never lived alone in my adult life. If it wasn't a husband or a partner, of course, I have my daughter. So it was her, my granddaughter, and I had to get real comfortable with me again, just my space. It allowed me to do some journaling that I needed to do. It allowed me to really get in touch with what made me happy at that point. And so I'll be eternally grateful for that opportunity because it was the first time that I wasn't like, all right, I have a time frame. In Ecuador, I had a time frame. I had 60 days and I knew that was my
Right,
time frame. Get it
right.
done in 60 days. Mexico, 5 months sit was like, okay, take your time and figure it out. It wasn't goal oriented at that point. It wasn't time oriented or time regulated. I had the leisure of figuring it out. And that was the big difference. That's what Mexico did for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Shauna said, so let me tell you about my audience. We just be talking in here. Like we are very straightforward
I
people.
love it.
So Shauna said, now let me jump on this last husband piece. I hear and feel you, sis.
Girl, I done had two. That's enough. I'm done. The last in every sense of the word, okay? Been there, done that. I don't need it.
So you said I'm doing me. I'm
I'm
doing
doing me,
me.
completely me. And it's interesting because I left for what was supposed to be 60 days. And my daughter and my granddaughter knew 60 days, mom's coming back, right? Okay, they could deal with that. But then I called my daughter and I'm like, listen, I ain't coming back. And she's like, what you mean you ain't coming back? Like that wasn't the plan, Ma, you know? So when we had the conversation, I realized that she was feeling some kind of abandonment stuff. Like, wait a minute. You said 60 days. Now that done turned to a whole nother, like the whole half the year you're gonna be
Right,
gone.
right.
She was like, I was ill prepared for that. And she was, because it wasn't the plan. And this was the first time. I'm a planner. It's the first time that I went off plan, but God had a bigger plan for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really. And I love that you're sharing this story with us, and this is kind of like why I started doing these interviews on this channel, because
Hmm.
I feel like we need to hear
Yeah.
this story, because we always feel like we're alone, and we're really
Yes.
not alone. It's a lot of people going
Yes.
through the same stuff,
Yep.
the same exact stuff. Mine and Mana said got 2 shirts, 2 husbands.
Okay.
We are all like, okay, it's time to do me. It is
Hmm.
that time. I'm going to travel. I'm going to live life. I'm going to do it on my own terms, and we just need to sit down as a community and come together and kind of compare notes. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, girl, you want to do this?
Right.
So basically, you had 2 months. Two
Hmm.
months to get it together, basically. That's what they
Right.
said. We're gonna give you
Right.
2 months to get it together. And you said, well, I this is together for me now. This is what together
Hmm.
looks like for me now. And y'all don't know, y'all no longer fit in this picture.
Right.
You close that chapter.
Right. And that's kind of a hard lesson to learn and to embrace, is that you have to relinquish something in order to be able to embrace a new thing. You can't
Right.
hold on to every single thing that you have. Otherwise, you don't have room for the new. So I had to release what I thought was my source, right? My income source. But my supply comes from above. It ain't
Right.
never been no job, but being a newly single person, I had that anxiety. I need a job. I got to be able to take care of myself. But then I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute now. You smart. You is smart. You is,
You is
you know,
beautiful.
like,
Yeah.
come on now. Tap into your own personal power. I got this new piece. I got to tap into my personal power, and everybody has a story. So when you start opening up and being transparent, the universe delivers. As somebody said earlier, the universe will deliver, and I realized that the more that I talked about my journey, the more people were like, you're inspiring me. And I'm like, am I really?
The more people are listening.
Yeah.
It's always amazing when people let me know that my story inspires them.
Yep.
Because I feel like I'm living my life. And it was years ago, as some of you all know, I have a son with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when he was diagnosed that I started writing. For newspapers, and we were on some news shows, and I started writing for different articles. And that's when people started, because I needed a way to let it all out. And that's
Of
the only
course.
way I knew
Mm-hmm.
how to do it, was to write. It's just that somebody saw I think I was posted on Facebook, some of my writing, and they
Yeah.
asked me to write for different things. And it wasn't just helping me, it was helping other people.
Yeah.
Just expressing myself was
Mm-hmm.
helping other people to come up to another level and realize
Mm-hmm.
I'm not by myself. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that's just what we need to hear, is that I'm not by myself. Like,
Absolutely.
so basically, people like you and Stephanie, y'all kind of already did these things. And now you can show us how to do them as well.
Yeah.
And it's quite amazing, that you did such a thing. And I want to kind of pause and kind of jump back a little bit, because April mentioned something that we don't always think about. She said we unknowingly have codependent relationships with a lot of our loved ones.
Yep.
When we tell them we're leaving,
Yep.
we tell them we're not coming back
Yep.
anytime soon,
Yep.
we tell them there is actually more to the world than the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All hell breaks loose in the beginning.
Absolutely. And this it's not a mindset that everybody can embrace. First of all,
Exactly.
this is how we have been indoctrinated. That everything that's the best is in the United States. The United States is the best. Medical care is the best. Everything is the best, right? We've been drinking the Kool-Aid for so long. So when you find a community, let's just say like Exodus Summit, that's talking about the differences between living in the United States, and I call it surviving versus thriving, right? Because for what it takes for you to survive in the States, you thrive someplace else in the world,
Amen.
and so
Amen.
we talk about self-care. If you're really, paying rent, mortgage, whatever in the United States, when you leave, that money can go towards self-care, whatever that means to you. For me, it means acupuncture. It means being able to go to the spas. It means, being able to get massages on a regular basis. That's a part of my lifestyle, and it doesn't hurt my budget. Where in the
Amen.
United States, it was definitely a treat, right? I might have had to sacrifice a bottle of champagne because I wanted to go get a massage. But maybe you couldn't do both of them. Well, I don't have to choose anymore, especially because I don't have to pay for accommodations. So my income it's really all discretionary, how I want to spend it, not how I have to spend it.
And I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So for me, being a single mom, y'all, when I'm back in these US streets and I don't have a regular nanny and a cleaner and somebody to cook me some of
What?
those meals, I'm like, Lord, y'all over here treating me like a slave. You telling me
Mm-mm.
I'm
What?
like, wait,
What?
I'm supposed to raise the kid, make the money, cook and clean?
Do all of that? No, no.
And
Absolutely.
my friends looking at me like, what do you mean, charisma? I'm like, y'all just don't realize
No.
y'all have been trained in the US to be the end all be all. Even
Yes.
overseas, the help has help.
How about that? How about that?
The
And it's
nanny has
interesting.
a maid.
That's right. That's right. And if you don't feel like going out to get a manicure and a pedicure, they're going to come to your house, and it's still a fraction of what you would pay.
Right.
The massage therapist comes to your house. If you got issues with COVID or germs or whatever, these are real everyday options that are not a treat. It's
Right.
what you can do for yourself on a regular basis.
What is it? You go to, what is it, Paydido, and the pharmacy delivers to your house. They bring
Come
the
on.
medicine to you. I was sick. They brought the medicine to me. I text
The
the
doctor came to
doctor.
my house in Ecuador.
Right. You text
You
the
know?
doctor on WhatsApp. There's no, we have to go through the
No,
front desk. You text the doctor
that's
on
right.
WhatsApp. The
Yep.
doctor comes and sees you. You
Yep.
you got laundry. They pick it up. They wash it. They fold it. Hell, they
Come
may
on.
even pack it up
That's
for you
right.
after they done.
Absolutely. So it is definitely a different way of life. And like I said, once you've lived it, for me, I can't unlive it. I don't want to unlive it. I'm not
Right.
going back. From my lips to God's ears, I will never live in the United States again. You know, my tribe is there, my babies, my daughter, my granddaughter. So short of the summer vacations that I carve out with my granddaughter, I ain't going back.
Right. I'm
No.
here by force right now.
I hear you. I hear you. But
I'm
let me
healing.
say this to you. You were talking about being transparent. And I just wanted to give you kudos because, you know, when you start talking about the travel that you do with your special needs son, yo, I ain't got no kid. So, you know, you're an inspiration for people who are not in that same or similar situation, you know? So you inspire just by doing. You don't never know who's watching and
That's
who's
true.
listening. So you are a true inspiration because if you can do it, why can't somebody else?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right about that. Thank you. Thank you for that. And we're going to talk about that in just a second about the single
Okay.
mom or if you're traveling with kids.
Hmm.
Shauna said, I'm not going to tell you how my eyebrows microbladed, shaded, and PV Puerto Vallarta what for 145 and a 60-minute massage was $25.
Okay. Okay. And you listen on my YouTube, I put up there, I got my eyebrows done in Ecuador and it was $70. Now,
Wow.
my girlfriend, when I saw her over the holidays, I was like, something different. Your eyebrows look good. And she
Mm-hmm.
told me. And she told me how much she
Mm-hmm.
paid, which was like $600. I'm like, well, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want it done that bad. So I mean, it's fly. And that's usually the extent of my makeup, right? Is just put on some eyebrows and maybe throw on some lips. That's it. So if I could eliminate one thing, life of ease, right? I eliminated the eyebrows in Ecuador, got done for $70.
Versus hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds.
Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we're paying these prices in America
Mm-hmm.
because we
Mm-hmm.
don't know better. Because we
Right?
don't know better.
Right.
So yes, thank you, TN. Thank you for that. So the next question I have is for us that may have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do a house sit?
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked me that question. Mm. Listen, once I really got my feet wet in house sitting, I started telling my daughter about it. And she's like, Mom, you going to house sit again? I'm like, yes. So I started looking for family friendly sits.
Ah, okay.
And that is also another filter. I have done multiple sits with both my daughter and granddaughter. So the three of us have been together for holidays. If anybody has seen my website or my Facebook page, you know, I take my Layla Sage as often as I can, particularly when I was in the States. She is like my mini Doolittle. So, you know, she loves to go on house sits because she can't have an animal where they live. So when she gets to go with grandma on a house sit, she's loving it. And people really embrace the fact that, you know, I'm trying to spend quality time with my family on these house sits. So there are house sits that will welcome you, your family. There are house sits that ask for couples, husband and wife team,
Mm,
girlfriend and girlfriend team. You know, me and my sister girls, we said, listen, if it's a bomb sit and it's calling for a couple, we gonna team up and do it. Because a couple is two people, period.
right,
Right? Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And then for those who have pets, there are pet friendly sits. You might be able to bring your pet to the sit.
Ah, okay. I never even thought about that.
Yes.
So let's take a quick break for right here.
Mm-hmm.
Take a moment to like and subscribe. And also, I have put Miss Diamond's website in chat.
Thank
It
you.
is also in the description, but I want you to have it in the chat as well in case you don't see it. Don't close out here because we're not done. But yes, so I want you to know that her information is there. And if you like this video, like it and make sure you click that bell. So next time we have these interviews and everything, you're on here. Um, Diamond is so I know you said you have the Facebook group. I'm part of that
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group,
Thank
Sisters
you.
Traveling. Is it Sisters Traveling Solo?
Nope.
Sisters
Sisters,
Who
sisters
Sit.
who sit. Mm-hmm.
Sisters Who Sit. Is that on the website?
Yes.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then you do the consultations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's on there as well.
It is.
Okay. And then your Facebook and IG is on there.
Right. Right.
Okay. So she packaged everything there for you to find out. And you have a blog too.
Yes. So my blog is part of the website. So when you go to www.thegallivantinggrandma.com, you will find the blog, and there is where I'm most transparent. I'm
Okay.
really speaking from my heart in the blog. So hopefully you'll take some time and pop over there. But I
Okay.
also do consultation on, because you asked me how I make money, affiliate marketing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about your affiliate marketing for those who don't know what that is.
Well, affiliate marketing really is just getting paid to talk about what you talk about, because everybody wants to know when you go on a trip, they want to know what excursions did you take, right? As soon as you open your mouth, if you were an affiliate, which means you have a relationship, a monetized relationship with a particular company. So I am an affiliate for Trusted House Sitters. So when
Okay.
I share my link and somebody signs up under my link as an affiliate, I make some coins.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So when I say, oh, listen, I went to, I went skydiving. Who'd you use? I have an affiliate link there.
Okay.
So whatever it is that you talk about, if it's a product or a service that you have an affinity for, that you really believe in, you're going to talk about it anyway. People are going to ask me about my smile, and I'm going to tell you about the Black owned dental care company that I use, right? Because I'm an affiliate. I believe
Right.
in them. So
Right.
it's getting paid for what you talk about, making sure that you have the right relationship with those companies. And most companies do have some type of an affiliate program. Sign up and get paid.
Yeah, and I that's a good idea. Like, so for example, I have a link for Trusted House Sitters, but I'm not an
Mhm.
affiliate. Mine is just a friends and family league.
Uh-huh.
And then I have one for travel insurance. So the
Yep.
safety wing that's listed there in the comments for y'all because I believe in travel insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know if you have seen some of my videos, y'all know in PDC and Playa del Carmen, I got burned. And then Amazon and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're traveling for free in Trusted
Yes.
House Sitters.
Well, I'm staying for free.
You're staying for free, Trusted House
Yes.
Sitters. You are making money on your affiliate links.
Mm-hmm.
What other businesses do you have that
Well,
you
my consultations, which you
okay?
can sign up through the Calendly.
Mhm,
But I also make money off my brand. I don't know if y'all can see my shirt. I rock my own brand all the time, Power
mhm,
Piece.
mhm.
And Power Piece was born out of my last divorce. Anybody who knows me knows I got a big mouth. I always got something to say about something. And I heard very clearly from above, be quiet. Be quiet. I got this. And that's exactly what I did. So I had to really quiet myself inside, get in touch with my inner peace. And from that peace, I got power. And so
Mhm.
that's where that particular brand came from. And it is part of my daughter's ecosystem on her website. And so we are a home goods brand. We have all kinds of things for the home, candles, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, I do wear my brand. So hopefully some of y'all will too.
Okay, all right, and all of that's on the website.
Yes.
So we talked about that, but I thought you did something else with retreats.
Well, I started doing retreats. My daughter really does mini retreats, and I wanted to take it on a grander scale because I'm traveling internationally. So at one point last year, we were looking to do one in Ecuador because y'all know I love Ecuador. Um, so at the end of the day, that is something that I am really looking to bring forth in the second quarter of 2023. We're still working on it, but we do mini retreats. And I say we because it's a mother-daughter team. She does them in the United States, and she does them coast to coast.
Okay.
So they are like long weekends, a week at a time. It really is very personalized. So those retreats are available on the website.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you did retreats. And
Mm-hmm.
lovely Libra, she brought up a good point. She said that you always post the best affirmations. Are you on the affiliate for that brand? So for those that don't know Diamond, at least via Facebook, go on her website, become Facebook friends with her. When I tell y'all she uplifts you every day.
Oh,
I
thank
don't know
you.
where she finds this stuff, but she throws an affirmation out there every day. And I'm like, yes, Diamond, thank you, ma'am. So
Those are my
yeah,
public
tell us about
service
that.
announcements,
Yes.
my PSAs. Yeah, listen, I think that we all need an affirmation. I try to do it daily. I don't always succeed, but to answer the question, I'm not an affiliate for any affirmation brand, but I do. I'm a big advocate of Black art. So there are some serious Black artists out there that I think do not get the exposure that they deserve. Very gifted and talented, and I grab them. I put them up there, and hopefully y'all will look at the artist, and if it inspires you, support them, even if it means just a repost. But there's so many great artists out there, and I'm not an affiliate for them. But I'm glad that y'all are enjoying the PSAs because
Yeah,
they uplift me as much as anybody else.
I always wonder, is it okay to share it? But you're
Yeah,
like,
girl, go ahead, share it. Tag me though.
go
Tag me.
ahead and share it. So Diamond has given us a lot of information here, y'all. What questions do you have? Let's go ahead and pull some questions out. And while they're typing in their questions, tell because being a mom, I'm
Mhm.
always like, how does that sitting with the kids go? How was your experience doing that?
Oh, fantastic. Um, just fantastic. The first time that I had to sit and took my granddaughter was right as COVID was starting to lift. And we were based in South Carolina. My brother and his family live in the Northern Virginia area, which is a very expensive area to visit,
Okay.
right outside of DC. And I found a 3-week sit that was family friendly. And it was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. Come to find out, it was literally 5 minutes from my brother and his family. So
Wow.
we were able to have the best of both worlds. My granddaughter was with me. I was still gainfully employed, but working remotely. So that worked out well. She did her classes remotely because she was homeschooled. So we had a very, flexible schedule, but she did what she needed to do. I got done what I needed to do. And at the end of the day, we were in our own space. We could go and visit with my brother and his family anytime we wanted to, but we didn't have to stay there, right? I mean, you love your family, but you don't necessarily want to be with them the whole time that you're visiting, right? And
Yeah.
3 weeks is a long time to be with somebody. We didn't have to do any of that at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you so in your at what point did you tell them you have your family with you?
Right away. I
Okay.
always ask the question, if I want to take my granddaughter with me, I always ask, is it okay if I bring my granddaughter? She's 8. Check my profile, and it's part of my profile.
Okay.
I've got pictures of her with pets so that they know that there are some times that I do bring my granddaughter. And I just ask the question. They'll tell me quite honestly. There was a sit I wanted to do in California because we choose a state every year that we're going to do her summer vacation. She chose California. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do California this year. There was one I really wanted. And this sister came back to me and she was like, listen, Diamond, it sounds lovely, but my dog really doesn't like kids. You have the conversation up front. Same
Yeah.
way if you want to listen, my friend lives in California. Is it okay if they come and visit? Have the conversation up front. Be very transparent about what it is that you want to do. Ask permission and move forward.
Okay.
Hmm.
Damara says she's planning a trip in May to San Francisco. She applied for a house sit and was told she doesn't have enough pictures with pets, and now she's trying to
Mm.
upload pictures.
Hmm. I mean, it's always great if you have a pet. If you can borrow a pet, take some pictures with you and a pet. Okay, because like I said, 90% of the sits out there do require that you are caring for an animal. So you need to show yourself as being animal friendly, right?
Okay.
So you're
So
telling the whole story. It's just like building a resume.
I had an experience. It wasn't on House Sitters, but I was watching my my friend's dog, and the
Mhm.
dog basically, it was a big dog, and he basically attacked us, which
Oh my
made me, this
gosh.
is probably why I haven't done a sit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but someone was like, well, it wasn't through House Sitters, and it was like your friend.
Yeah.
Have you ever had something outrageous kind of happen? I know somebody posted in the group recently. They showed up and the house was disgusting in your Facebook group.
Yeah. I personally, thank God, I am 13 sits in plus plus. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, I have never had a bad experience. But I am going to
Okay.
share with you. There was this opportunity while I was in Panama. And I was in Panama just recently on a 35-day sit. Glorious, beautiful. But there was another one about an hour away, and it was for a time next year. So I said, listen, I'm gonna hop on this because I like to get my calendar in order. I tell you, I'm a recovering type A. Um,
Recovering.
recovering. Get my calendar in order for next year. So I'm like, man, this sit sounds really good. And it was an extended sit, more than 3 months. So I said to them, I said, listen, I'm right in Panama City. I could take the bus out and we can meet face to face instead of doing a Zoom.
Yeah.
Girl, when I got out to that house, and it's going to be part of my next blog, but when I got out to that house, I was like, thank you, Lord, that I went out there to see with my own two eyes, because it was not for the Gallivanting Grandma, okay? For a whole lot of reasons. So I felt where that sister was coming from to show up, but I was so glad that I was spared that experience personally by going out there firsthand, because the pictures can look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I personally have never had a bad sit. So
Okay.
knock on wood, praise God, never.
Right. Okay. That's good to know. Because
Hmm.
I'm like, but I've had bad Airbnb.
Right.
Airbnb. So, and tell us about Trusted House Sitter. Even though I know I like to do my travel insurance, but they also offer insurance, correct?
They do offer insurance, and that's really why I like being affiliated with them, because they are the largest, they're the most renowned,
Mhm.
and as a premium member, you do get insurance. So, like, I'm going to Portugal next month. What if the lady in Portugal gets sick and she can't go on her trip, and I booked my ticket?
Right.
Trusted house sitters is then going to come step in, and they will pay for accommodations for the length that I was going to be there, the length of the sit. So I'm going to be there for 27 days. They will pay 27 days worth of accommodations if for whatever reason that house sit host cancels on me. So it's good to have that kind of insurance. They also have insurance in case there's some damage to the house while you're there, that will be covered. So there's a whole lot of reasons why, when you start doing extended international sits, that you may want to up your membership and go to a premium membership. I
Okay.
stayed at basic for a long time. The first year that I sat, I was at a basic membership, which did not afford me any of those insurances. But now that I'm doing international and flying here, there, and everywhere, got to
Amen.
cover your butt.
Yeah. Yeah. CYA. So let's
Yes.
see. All right. Christina says she's going to join the Facebook group. Make sure y'all
Oh,
get on that
wonderful.
Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a direct link, it's listed below and it is on her website.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Anna says she had a house sit. Is this, what is this? Sayulita?
Sayulita.
Sayulita.
Ah,
And Sis Diamond joined her for a few days.
sure did. Sure
How was
did. Well, Anna
that?
and I have a very unique relationship, right? Um, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of the backstory. Do we have time?
Go ahead.
Okay. Um, I was going out to the West Coast for some sits when like I said, I started in Charleston, South Carolina, got my feet wet, and then I was like, okay, now I'm going to California. So I go out in the groups and I'm like, yo, I'm coming to California for a little while. Who's out there who wants to meet up? Because that's just my personality. Anna raised her hand. She was like, listen, let's meet for lunch. And we did. So that's where that sisterhood was born.
Ah,
As she was telling me about her desire to relocate to Mexico, when I
mm-hmm.
got my 5 month sit, I was like, listen, girl, I got 5 months, 2 bedroom house. Come and get your toes wet in Mexico. And I was in
Ah,
Chapala. So the host agreed that I could have guests. And Anna came and stayed with me for a little bit. Then we saw a house sit. Then we saw a house sit for a month in a neighboring town in Mexico. Anna didn't even have her profile together at that point. I reached out to the lady. I was like, listen, my sister's coming to Mexico. She's about to be a house sitter. I can come out and meet with you. If you like me, we can do a video with my sister Anna. And long story short, Anna got her first Mexico sit for 30 days. And she had her soft landing where now she's a temporary resident.
wow, that's awesome. Because I need to go out there and finish out my residency. So a house sit sounds like a good idea.
It's a fabulous idea, and not just internationally, because think about it, a lot of us are contemplating more affordable moves within the United States. What better way to scope out a city, a town, than to live there? Because when you're not at a resort, you're not at a hotel with all the amenities, you're in an actual neighborhood. You get to really try it on for size. So I recommend house sitting for no other reason than that. Really,
Yeah.
sure, it's great to travel to places that you really want to go to, but if you want to try on a place for size, house sitting is ideal.
Mm. Yeah, and I can see that. I tell people it's one thing to visit and stay in a hotel. It's another thing when you live there. You can visit for 2, 3 weeks, but when you live
Mhm.
there for a month
Yep.
or so, it's different.
It's very different. It's boots on the ground experience. It's firsthand experience. And like I said, everything ain't for everybody. I
Right.
did a great sit in Panama City. I was in the heart of the city. It was beautiful. If you on my Facebook, you see all the pictures. But I'm not a city girl. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the sit, but I'm not a city girl. So what better way to find that out or reaffirm that than to do a sit?
Right. And I love Panama City, Panama. My family's from there. So if you hadn't been
Oh
there,
wow.
I've seen
Okay.
some people out there, they love it. Y'all may have met.
Wow.
So it's a
I
V
did not
thing
know that
said,
because I sure would have gotten some information from you.
oh yeah, my cousin, he'll take you around and everything. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cool.
There, and I have family in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
So yep, those two areas. But
Hmm.
I paid for my accommodations in Panama.
Hey, tell me, how expensive was that?
Panama is not terribly expensive,
Hmm.
but it's not cheap
It ain't
and it's
free.
not free.
There you
Right,
go.
that part.
Yep.
So it it's a V thing says, have you ever gotten paid to do a sit? If so, how did you find it?
Okay. I have not explored or looked into really paid sits because I have the success that I am looking for personally through trusted house sitters.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who do paid sits through other platforms
Platform.
like Rover. I have a profile on Rover. I don't find that it offers me the extensive opportunities that I find on Trusted House Sitters. So for those of you out there that are getting paid to sit, then kudos on that. It's a win-win situation. You're staying for free and you're getting paid. I have not explored that. I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's meeting all my goals.
Right. And I know I was in your Facebook group this morning and one of the ladies talked about how she gets paid to
Mm-hmm.
sit.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely jump into her Facebook group. Is it Sisters with an H on
Sis,
the end?
yeah, it's SISTAS who sit. And there is one member who she has I think better than 20 years experience uh getting paid for house sitting. So yeah, there's something for everyone out there. Everything ain't for everybody. If that's something that you want to explore, then let's talk about it. Because like I said, it's a group that will support anybody who wants to sit in any phase of their journey. So we're all there to learn.
Okay.
Yep.
Sasha said, how many sits did you do in the States before you went international?
Ooh. Um, probably eight. Probably eight.
Okay. Was
Hmm.
that because you were still getting comfortable with them, or is just because you weren't ready to go international yet?
I wasn't ready to go international. When I first started house sitting, it was like a reprieve. I was helping to care for my mom who was ill at that time. So just a reprieve from that particular responsibility. I started house sitting. And then after she passed, did a few more until I figured out where I was going. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, yeah.
Okay. So even before you started traveling and left, you were already house sitting. House
I
sitting
was.
wasn't new for you.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. I used it as a reprieve, almost like a respite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Never
Mm-hmm.
even considered that. Let me go find somebody house to stay in at the beach.
Hey, I mean, I have had wonderful house sits up in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm a water person, so anytime that I can find a lakefront or an ocean front, a beachfront, I've done Hilton Head, South Carolina. You know, there are plenty of places that in the United States that you can give yourself a week or even extended weekend. Like I said, put it in the filter. If you want to go for 4 days, put in 4 days. Find a sit.
Yeah, because we have a trip. We're going to go down to Panama City Beach for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
How soon out do you recommend someone looks for house sits, or is there a
A time frame.
yeah?
When you have your time frame, then that's when you start looking for your sit.
Okay,
And then again, your filters are your friends, because you can put in those dates and you can save a search that way. So if you know that you're going between July 4th and July 10th, put it in there and save it as a search. Then trusted house sitters will send you a notification when a sit becomes available in that area during that time frame.
okay,
And the more flexible you are, of course, the higher your chances of getting one.
okay. So
Hmm.
I know you said you haven't had a bad sit. Did you ever have one you just didn't like?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me tell you about the crazy cat. This was my granddaughter and I again. She's been on 4 sits with me, let me just say.
Oh wow.
Yes, yes. So we were in the Virginia area again, and it was a young cat. So I'm like, cool, indoor, outdoor cat. I got flexibility. Layla and I can go to, the amusement park, whatever, whatever. This cat loved running water. I never met a cat that loved running water. As soon as I went to in the kitchen, turn on the faucet, here come this daggone cat, jumping on the countertop, trying to get into the sink. I run Layla's bath. I go in there. Here's the cat on top of the faucet in the tub, just enjoying the water. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, I'm like, this is a sanitation thing for me. Cats are
Yeah,
cool, but you ain't gonna be jumping in my kitchen counter, on the sink. That's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. So yes, I had a crazy cat situation, and I mean, even the spray bottle, because sometimes that's how you will teach a cat not to get on a certain area, wouldn't work with this cat. I had to sanitize, sanitize, sanitize all the time because this cat just did not have any boundaries. So yeah, that was a sit that I did not like.
how long did you do that one?
I did that one for a week. And I'm
Okay.
telling you, I probably got gray hair over that one.
So what would you have done if that was like a month sit?
Oh my goodness. I'm big on um, owning up to your obligations. So if I had taken it for a month, then I would have dealt with it for a month simply because I had agreed to it. But I would have preferred not to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So you kind of just pushed through those
I
times.
did. I pushed through it.
Okay.
Yep. And that
Okay.
was really the only one that I can say bothered me.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So we have another question. It's a little off of the house sitting, so it's up to
Uh-huh.
you. LaRonda said, can you talk about what you did with all of your belongings once you started bopping around the globe?
I sure can. Purge. Purge. Get rid of it. I got rid of everything. I did not renew the lease on my apartment. I sold my car, all my furniture that my daughter didn't want. Got rid of my clothes, either sold them, donated, purge, get rid of it. I have never had storage. I refuse to have storage. And I'm down to a suitcase and a backpack. Team travel on, carry on,
Wait, you do
get rid of it.
carry on only? Girl, you be so mad traveling with me.
Just listen. It was a process. When I went to Ecuador, I had a 77-pound bag, okay, which I did not
Mhm.
need. So I learned, if I buy something somewhere, I need something, I don't add it to what I have, I replace something.
So, what do you do with the stuff when you leave?
Um,
Do you give it away? Do you take it with you?
okay. I'm sorry. Yes, yes. When I left Mexico after 5 months, I still had too much stuff. And I said to my sisters, I said, y'all come over. We're going to have a party. And I said, take anything that you want. What they didn't want, I gave away.
Right.
The maid who came in on a weekly basis, if she wanted something, she could have it. And then one of my sisters was kind enough to take a couple of trash bags full of things to a consignment store. And I said, listen, just take it over there. I'm not going to take it with me. And I don't.
So
No
in the
storage.
States, right.
Mhm.
That's what she said. No storage. So
No
I learned
storage.
I learned that from this traveling family that I met in the Dominican Republic, and they had been traveling, I mean, for years. Like the one they had a son that was like 8 or 10 that had never been stationary. And
Hmm.
what they did was when they bought they team backpack too.
Yeah.
They had 2 kids. And what they did was when they leave, any expats they meet, they give their stuff to them. And
Hmm.
then if not, they give it to the locals.
Yep.
So that's what I've started doing as well, even though I'm not team backpack. But like any non-perishables,
Yeah.
like I cook, so I tend to
Hmm.
over grocery shop. So I might
Mm.
probably got some stuff, meat still in the freezer that's unopened,
Yeah. Yeah.
ketchup, mustard, all of those different things. I've even given the toys that we bought, like beach toys or whatever. I'll just give it to like the local kids my son
Hmm.
plays with. So that's one of those things you start to pick up when you're traveling, because even if you travel with a suitcase, you can't take everything with you.
No, no, absolutely not. When I left Ecuador, because I had 60 days, but I extended out to 83 before I went to Mexico. And I had small appliances, like I do a smoothie every morning. I'm not carrying, a blender with me.
Right.
So then I opened it up to my expat sisters and said, hey, come over the house. This is what's available. Get rid of it. Gift it to somebody, let it have a second life, and move on.
You know what someone else taught, which this family also told me they do, if they do carry certain utensils with them, but like if they need a blender, what
Hmm.
they'll do, they do Airbnbs, not house sits though.
Okay.
But what they do is they ask the person that owns the Airbnb, hey, I want to get a blender, but I don't want to take it with me. Would you be open to splitting the cost of it?
Mm.
So
Hmm.
I can use it while I'm here, but it'll be here to improve on in your Airbnb.
Right,
And I thought
right.
that was
That's
fantastic.
very smart. Hmm.
And I can even see how maybe even in a house sit that may be an possibility as well,
Right,
for something. So
right.
that's another one. Let's
Hmm.
see. LaRonda said, I loved it. I'm a step in, just moved from California to Vegas and planning to live in Ghana for the
Oh,
winter.
wow.
And keep my
Ghana.
place in Vegas. Yeah.
Okay.
LaRonda, I'm right there with you. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm not putting out my dates yet, but I'm right there with you. I'm planning on getting over to Kenya. Now, I haven't seen any house sits in Kenya. It ain't for a lack of looking.
I heard that. I will say that there are not a lot of house sits on the continent. There aren't a lot, but there are some. And those that I have seen generally are in South Africa, which I
Okay.
do understand. South Africa is, a big size, it's a big place, and a good place for a soft landing if you have not decided what country on the continent you want to, start with. So those are the ones that I've seen,
Okay.
primarily South Africa.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen them live. I saw maybe one or two, but I have
Hmm.
been looking. So I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
doing a
Put it
little
put
bit
it
of
in your
something.
search and save it, girl, so that you'll know as soon as it pops up.
Yes. Yes. LaRonda said house sitting doesn't really agree with her because she's not really a pet person. Can you address
Right.
it?
Right. Well, if you're not a pet person, it's probably not going to work for you. Again, I will say that 90% of the opportunities through trusted house sitters do involve care of a pet. So if that's not your stilo, that's not your wheelhouse, then that's probably not going to work for you.
Yeah. I could do little dogs. I like little
Mm-hmm.
dogs that can kind of
Okay.
sit there while I work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I've learned about myself. I don't know if I was allergic to cats when I was little. I don't know if I'm still allergic to cats or not.
Right. 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 And I do have a
So
client who's the same way. She had bad experience with big dogs. So, you see the animal before you apply. So if
yeah,
it's larger than what you want, so when I'm looking for sits for her, I'm always looking for miniatures, do a puppy, which is a little bit too much work for me. I don't do puppies, but you make it fit your desired requirements.
okay. So with
Hmm.
your clients, you help them find. You don't just help them with the profile. You help them find the sits also.
Oh yeah, I manage people's accounts for them because if you're working 5 days a week, 40 hours, you don't have all the time to be looking as these sits become available. So I'll give you an example. I have a client who she was retiring and she wanted to start in the UK. Which there are tons of sits in the UK, but she still did not have time to look for them all and apply for them. So she gave me her parameters, dates that she wanted to be there. She gave me the areas in the UK that she wanted to visit. And she said to me, she said, I'm going to challenge you, Diamond. I do not want to pay more than 1 week of accommodations while I'm there for 8 weeks. I'm like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. She wound up paying 4 days out of 8 weeks.
Okay.
So
So
I
in
managed her
between
account.
sits,
Yep.
okay. So in between sits, you will do like a hotel or something if necessary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's when I give myself my downtime because I've saved money on the accommodation. So yeah, like when I finish up in Portugal, I'm gonna give myself a treat by popping over to Morocco,
Mhm.
because it's right across the border. Enjoy that, and that'll be on my dime, but I earned it. So
Right, right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
did.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
plug in. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I can still hear you.
Okay. Any other questions for Diamond before we leave out? Okay. Christina said, I didn't realize you actually manage the sits. I'm booking a call ASAP. You'll be hearing from me, Diamond.
Oh man, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I do manage their accounts. So they give me their credentials. I put in the application for them, make sure that everything looks good, advise them, hey, listen, you should be looking in your email because this person is going to contact you based on your application. So again, it's about making the strongest profile that you can have. All right, can y'all see me now? The strongest profile that you can have, and then the strongest application. And I do have templates that I supply my clients with, so that they make sure that they look like the perfect sitter.
Yes. Brown Girls Trade too. She said you were killing the game house sitting.
Thank you, thank you. It is a lifestyle that fits me like a glove.
Let me ask you, this is one of my questions. I've had people, I was overseas, but I had people in Atlanta, since that's my hometown, reach out
Mhm.
to me for house sits. And I felt a little nervous about that. It was on trusted house sitters. Are those okay?
Um, I would say when you're first getting started, I would stick to those that are strictly in the app.
Well, they're
Now,
in the app,
uh
but
huh.
I guess they can send you a message.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People can request you.
Yeah, I just was like, That's weird. That's not weird.
Not at all. That's a compliment. So
Oh,
I have plenty of people who will find my profile and they'll say, "Hey, are you available? I have a sit for whatever, whatever," and
yeah.
they'll send me the link. No, that's a compliment. They've seen something about your profile that looks good, and maybe it's just that you're in the general area, right? They
Yeah.
don't want to take the chance on somebody who's coming from California to Georgia. They want
Okay.
somebody who's based in Georgia. So they will do their search based on location. And when they find you and reach out to you, it's a compliment. Hey, I'm not available, but thanks for reaching out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree. You're killing it with the house sitting. I'm gonna have to get on it. I'm gonna have to book. Let her manage our calendars.
Hey.
Yeah. And then yeah, Brown Girl's trade too. She said the same thing happened. She had to change her availability in the app. Sometimes it's because it's a short notice sit as well.
Right, right.
Okay.
And
All
you
right.
know those last minute and low application sits, that's like low hanging fruit. Cherry pick those, and see whether or not there are some that might fit for you, because those are usually the ones that you can secure easily. A lot of people
Yeah.
haven't applied, or it's the last minute, and you may have that flexibility, and it might just be in your area.
Yeah, I was looking. Atlanta has a lot of
A
those
lot
low
of sits.
application sits.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I'm gonna go ahead and do a sit. I had a client, a real estate client. That's what she did. She did
Mm-hmm.
sit. She went from what we would talk monthly. One month we talked, and she was in Italy. The
Mm-hmm.
next month we talked, she was in Puerto Rico. The next
Uh-huh.
month she talked, she was in the Northeast here in the States.
I'm loving
So
it.
yeah, we had to figure out what time zone she was in, but she was like, girl, they were all sits. And I mean, she was staying in like some nice places, like some mini mansions.
Oh, absolutely. You can be as selective as you want to be. I don't stay no place shabby, you
Right.
know? And there are repeat sits that once I've done a sit, like I'm gonna give you an example, in the Lake Norman area, right on the lake with a hot tub and a pool, 5 bedrooms. I did the first sit, and this lady contacts me every Christmas and every Thanksgiving. Are you and your family available to do the sit? She won't even put it up there anymore because she comes to me first. So that's what you want, repeat clients. And
Wow.
at
Is
that
this
point,
Mexico?
mhm. No, this was in North Carolina.
Okay.
Hmm. And at that point, you can then, if you are looking to do this for a fee, you can then introduce your fee structure because they're reaching out to you.
Right.
So
Right.
if that's something that you want to do, I have been very blessed and I get really good tips. But if you're looking to introduce a fee structure, that's how you do it.
Oh, I didn't know people get tips.
Oh, I get tips all the time. I get the refrigerator stocked for me for like the first week or so, bottles of wine, grocery cards because I'm vegan. So they're like, listen, I ain't got nothing in the house that's going to fit your diet, but let me leave you a grocery card, go shopping.
And you get the car as well at times.
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are killing it. So, Diamond, tell us your handles, your social media, where to reach you. You mentioned you had a YouTube. You didn't give me your YouTube.
At the Gallivanting Grandma.
Okay.
Yes. And that is GALLIVANTING. But at the Gallivanting Grandma on YouTube as well as IG, the brand new Diamond Crystal and Gallivanting Grandma on Facebook. And of course, my website is www.thegallivantinggrandma.com.
Okay. So make sure y'all like and subscribe to this video. Click that bell for notifications. We do our lives and talk to other women just out here doing it on Sundays at 1 p.m. and about 1 to 2 Tuesday nights. a month we get together and we just talk about all kinds of stuff. We are planning our future on here. And if
Yes.
you're interested in real estate investing, I am your girl. So make sure you look at the links below. We got affiliate links. We have her website. We have some travel links and everything that you need. So before we go, Diamond, do you want to answer one more question that someone just put in there?
Absolutely. My pleasure.
She said, Christina said, what did you pack for it?
What do I pack? It depends on where I'm going. But because I am a nomad, I carry the same bag and the same backpack until they fall apart. So, two pairs of sneakers, two pairs of sandals, one which is flip flops, bathing suit, shorts, shawls, couple of dresses because you gotta be cute in these streets, and then pick up whatever you might need as you go along. But always don't add to, replace.
All right. Any last words for us?
Yes, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. I was a little anxious about it. I'm a behind the scenes type person, not in front of the camera type person, but thank you for the opportunity. Your audience is fantastic. And ladies, just do it. You know, put faith in front of fear and just do it.
All right. I love it. And make sure y'all go on there and subscribe to all of her stuff.
Thank
All
you.
right, y'all. Ciao. See you
Ciao.
later.
Okay.